Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Today we'll discuss the topic of anatomy, that is nasal cavity and paranasal sinuses. And I'm Dr. Sadia. The objectives of the nasal cavity are the anatomy of the medial septum. We'll discuss in detail boundaries of the nasal cavity and the fracture features of the lateral wall of the nasal cavity. That is the three concaves that are very important, and the meatus, which is below, there's a slot between below the nasal concha, that is called the meatus, and these meati will receive the openings of the paranasal sinuses that we discuss in detail, and the nasolacrimal duct. Nasal branches of pterygopalatine ganglion and sphenopalatine branches of the maxillary artery we'll discuss in this lecture. Relationship of the paranasal sinuses to the orbit and anterior cranial fossa and the nasal cavity. So these are the objectives that we are discuss in detail today. Acha. This is the nose, and the nose consists of external nose and the nasal cavity. So this is the picture of the external nose. It shows that this is the part of the frontal bone. These are the two nasal bones which are joined which are joined with each other. These are the nasal bones. These are the frontal processes of the maxilla. These are the upper lateral cartilages, and these are the lower lateral cartilages. So these lower lateral cartilages are also called the greater alar cartilages and the lesser alar cartilages. So these greater alar cartilages and lesser alar cartilages, the greater alar cartilage again divided into the lateral crust, which is forming the ala of the nose, and the medial crust, which forms the columella of the nose. This is fibrofatty tissue of the nose. So the nose is actually comprises of the bones and by the cartilage, and this cartilage is hyaline cartilage. So both are divided by a septum. So there is a septum in between which divides the nasal cavity into the right and the left nasal halves. This is external nose. External nose has two elliptical orifices, nares or nostrils. So these are the anterior nostrils, beta. This is the columella of the nose, and which are separated from each other by the nasal septum. So this is the nasal septum, and these are the lateral wall of the nose. These are the ala of the nose, and this is the dorsum of the nose, and this is the tip of the nose, and this is the philtrum of the lip. The lateral margin of the ala nasal is rounded and mobile. So these are the lateral margin of the ala, which are rounded and mobile. So these are the ala of the nose. These are the ala of the nose. This is the columella of the nose, and these are the anterior nostrils. Again, this is the picture of the external nose. This is the root of the nose. This is the frontal bone joining with the nasal bones. Okay, this is the dorsum of the nose. This is the bridge of the nose. This is the dorsum of the nose. And this is actually a nasofacial angle. This is the apex of the nose. This is the ala of the nose. This is alar nasal sulcus. These folds are alar nasal sulcus. This is nasofacial angle, and these are the anterior nares. This is the septum or the philtrum of the nose. This is the septum and philtrum of. So sorry, this is the septum of the nose, and this is columella, and this is the philtrum of the nose, philtrum of the lip. Same here. This is the frontal bone joining with the nasal bone. This is the frontal processes of the maxilla. These are the two upper lateral cartilages. These are the lower lateral cartilages, which is also called the greater alar cartilages. The greater, and these are the lesser alar cartilages. The greater alar cartilages again divided into a lateral crust of the greater alar cartilage, which is forming the ala of the nose, and the medial crust is going downward, and it contributes in the formation of columella of the nose. This is the fibrofatty tissue. This is frontal process of the maxilla. Again, these are the nasal bones joining with the frontal bone above, and these are the upper lateral cartilages. This is the septal cartilage in between. These are the lower lateral cartilages, and these lower lateral cartilages are also called greater LR cartilage and the lesser LR cartilage. The greater LR cartilage has a lateral crust which forms the ala of the nose, and the medial crust which forms the columella of the nose, and this is fibrofatty tissue. So blood supply of the external nose. The skin of the external nose is supplied by the branches of ophthalmic and maxillary arteries. So this is the supraorbital artery. This is the supratrochlear artery. These are the branches of the ophthalmic artery, and this is the dorsal nasal artery. This is the dorsal nasal artery. This is also a branch of the ophthalmic artery, and the infraorbital artery. This is the infraorbital artery, which is the branch of the maxillary artery and supplies the external nose. And the branches of the facial artery, skin of the ala and the lower part of the septum are supplied by the branches of the facial artery. So this is a facial artery, and this is an angular artery. So these are the lateral nasal branches, which are the branches of the facial artery. This is facial artery. This is the angular artery. This is the lateral nasal branches that are the branches of the facial artery, and this is a superior labial artery, and this is a septal branch which supply the columella. This is a septal branch, beta. This is a septal branch which supply the septum of the nose and the columella of the nose. Okay, this is a septal branch. This septal branch supplies the septum and the columella of the nose. This is the septum and this is the columella of the nose, which is supplied by the septal branch of the facial artery. These are the infraorbital, which are the branches of maxillary artery. It supplies the nose also, and lateral nasal arteries, which are the branches of the facial artery, also supplies the nose. So three arteries supplies the nose: supraorbital, supratrochlear, and dorsal nasal. These three are the branches of the ophthalmic artery. Infraorbital artery is the branch of maxillary artery, and the lateral nasal arteries and the septal branch of the facial artery. These are the branches of the facial artery. Nerve supply of the external nose, the infratrochlear and the external nasal branches of the ophthalmic. So this is infratrochlear, and the external branch of the anterior ethmoidal nerve. This is the branch of ophthalmic. These two are the branches of the ophthalmic nerve, infratrochlear and the external nasal branches of the ophthalmic nerve. So these two are from the ophthalmic nerve, infratrochlear and external branch of the anterior ethmoidal nerve, which is also a branch of the ophthalmic nerve, and the infraorbital branch of the maxillary nerve. Like an infraorbital artery, this is infraorbital nerve, which is the branch of the maxillary nerve. So these three arteries, ophthalmic branches and the maxillary branches, supplies the skin of the external nose. The nasal cavity is divided into a floor. So this is the floor of the nasal cavity and the roof of the nasal cavity. So this is the roof of the nasal cavity and the lateral wall of the nasal cavity. So this is the lateral wall, and medial wall we'll discuss later on. So medial wall or the septal wall. We discuss each and every wall in detail. So this is the floor of the nasal cavity. The floor is two-thirds of the floor is formed by the palatine processes of the maxilla. Okay, so this is the palatine process of the maxilla, which is in purple in color, and a small part which contribute by the horizontal plate of palatine bone. This is smaller area which contributes by the horizontal plate of palatine bone, and the larger area contribute by the palatine process of the maxilla. So these two bone forms the floor of the nasal cavity. Roof of the nasal cavity contributes by the different bones like the frontal bone and the nasal bones anteriorly. In the mid, it contributes by the perpendicular plate cribriform plate of ethmoid bone. So this is the cribriform plate of the ethmoid bone, which is forming the mid of the roof of the nasal cavity. The anterior part forms by the frontal bone and the nasal bone, and the mid of the floor it is formed by the cribriform plate of the ethmoid bone, and the posterior part formed by the body of the sphenoid. This is formed by the body of the sphenoid. So three bones like a sphenoid bone, the cribriform plate of ethmoid, and the frontal bone and the nasal bone combine to form the roof of the nasal cavity. Anteriorly beneath the bridge of the nose, the nasal and the frontal bone. So this is the frontal bone, this is the nasal bone. In the middle by the cribriform plate of ethmoid, this is the middle and it is formed by the cribriform plate of the ethmoid bone. And uh, it this cribriform plate actually upward is in the anterior cranial fossa, and posteriorly by the downward sloping. This is the downward sloping formed by the body of the sphenoid. So these three bones contribute in the formation of the roof of the nasal cavity. Medial wall of the nasal cavity, the nasal septum actually divides the nasal cavity into the right and the left half. It has osseous and cartilaginous parts. So the osseous parts formed by this is the perpendicular plate of the ethmoid bone superiorly, and this is a vomer bone. So these bones, two bones, perpendicular plate of the ethmoid bone and the vomer bone contributes the bony part of the nasal septum, and this is the cartilaginous part which forms the nasal septum. This is septal cartilage. So the medial wall of the nasal cavity, which actually divides the nasal cavity into the right and the left halves of the nose, and this actually the septum forms by the perpendicular plate of the ethmoid bone and the vomer bone. Inferiorly, superiorly the perpendicular plate of the ethmoid, inferiorly the vomer bone, and anteriorly the this septal cartilage. So we have discussed the roof of the nasal cavity. We have discussed the floor. This floor is formed by the palatine processes of the maxilla and the horizontal plate of the palatine bone. The roof is formed by the nasal bone, frontal bone, the nasal bone, and in the mid cribriform plate of ethmoid, and behind by the body of the sphenoid. So this is nasal septum. This is the perpendicular plate of ethmoid. This is the vomerine bone, and this is the septal cartilage. So the septum is actually the contribution by the bone and the septum. This is the very important lateral wall of the nasal cavity. It is marked by the three projections. We have three conchae or three bony projections. This is the superior nasal conchae, this is the middle nasal conchae, this is the inferior nasal conchae, and the space below each conchae. This is a space below each conchae is called superior meatus, and the space below the middle conchae is a middle meatus. The space below the inferior conchae is the inferior meatus. So these meati receives the openings of the different paranasal sinuses. They are very, very important. So this is again the superior conchae, the middle conchae, and the inferior conchae. This is the lateral wall of the nose, very important lateral wall, and the space below the superior conchae is the superior meatus. The space below the middle conchae is middle meatus. The space below the inferior conchae is inferior meatus. The inferior meatus receives the opening of the nasolacrimal duct. The inferior meatus, this is the superior conchae. The space below the superior conchae is called the superior meatus, and the space below the inferior conchae is inferior meatus, and this inferior meatus receives the opening of the nasolacrimal duct. Middle meatus, so this is middle conchae. This is the opening This is called the middle meatus, and this middle meatus receives the openings of the maxillary sinus, frontal sinus, anterior ethmoidal ear sinus, and the here there's a bulging. This here is a bulging that is called a bulla ethmoidalis. That bulla ethmoidalis receives the opening of the middle ethmoidal ear cells, and this is superior conchae. The opening below the superior conchae is superior meatus, and superior meatus receives the uh, opening of the posterior ethmoidal ear cells. These are the ethmoidal ear sinuses, and the ethmoidal ear sinuses divided into the anterior, middle, and the posterior. So the superior meatus receives the posterior ethmoidal ear sinuses, and the middle and the anterior received by the middle meatus, and sphenoethmoidal recess. This here is a recess, or there's a depression, there's an opening the, above the superior conchae has a depression. This is called sphenoethmoidal recess, and this recess receives the opening of the sphenoidal sinus. So this sphenoethmoidal recess receives the opening of the sphenoidal sinus. Sphenoethmoidal recess is a depression, or is a there's a gap between the superior conchae and the sphenoidal sinus. It receives the sphenoidal sinus, sphenoethmoidal recess. So this is the sphenoid bone. Superior conchae and the middle conchae are derived by the ethmoidal bone. So that's why it is called sphenoethmoidal. These two, superior conchae and the middle conchae, formed by the ethmoidal bone. So that's why this depression is called sphenoethmoidal recess. Recess means there's a gap in between these two bones. And this sphenoethmoidal recess receives the opening of the sphenoidal sinus. So the inferior meatus receives the opening of the nasolacrimal duct, and the middle meatus receives the opening of the maxillary sinus, the frontal sinus, the maxillary sinus, the anterior ethmoidal ear cells, and the bulla ethmoidalis receives the opening of the middle ethmoidal ear cells. So these all sinuses, four sinuses, maxillary sinus, anterior ethmoidal ear cells, and the frontal sinus, and the bulla ethmoidalis, which is part of the middle meatus, receives the opening of the middle ethmoidal ear cells, and the superior meatus receives the opening of the posterior ethmoidal ear cells, and this is a sphenoethmoidal recess, which is a gap between the ethmoid bone. Why this superior conchae and the middle conchae, they are the ethmoid bones. So this is called sphenoethmoidal recess. Why it is called sphenoethmoidal? Because it is in the between of sphenoidal bone and the ethmoidal bone. So that's why it is called the sphenoethmoidal recess. And this recess will receive the opening of the sphenoidal sinus. So this is again, this is a sphenoethmoidal recess. This recess receives the sphenoidal sinus here, because this is the sphenoid bone, and the superior and middle conchae, they are the ethmoidal bone. So this is called sphenoethmoidal recess, and this recess receives the opening of the sphenoidal sinus. This is superior conchae, this is superior meatus, receives the posterior ethmoidal ear cells. This is bulla ethmoidalis. This bulla ethmoidalis, which is below the middle conchae, it receives the opening of the middle ethmoidal ear cells. This is hiatus semilunaris. This is hiatus semilunaris, and this is uncinate process. So the anterior end of the hiatus semilunaris receives the frontal sinus, and this area is called infundibulum, and this receives the frontal sinus. The middle area of the hiatus semilunaris receives the anterior ethmoidal ear cells, and the latter area, the last area of the hiatus semilunaris, the posterior end of the hiatus semilunaris, receives the maxillary sinus. So the bulla ethmoidalis, bulla is a bulging of the inferior meatus. Here's the bulging. That's why we call this bulla ethmoidalis. This receives the opening of the middle ethmoidal ear cells. This opening is called hiatus semilunaris. The anterior end of the hiatus semilunaris receives the frontal sinus. The middle end receives the anterior ethmoidal air cells, and the posterior end of the hiatus semilunaris receives the maxillary sinus. And this bony projection is called the uncinate process. This is the middle. This is the inferior concave. This is in and below the inferior concave, this gap is called the inferior meatus, and this inferior meatus receives the nasolacrimal duct. So this inferior meatus will receive the nasolacrimal duct. Blood supply of the nasal cavity. The nasal cavity supplied by the maxillary artery, and the one of the and maxillary artery is one of the terminal branches of the external carotid artery. The most important branch is the sphenopalatine artery, which is also the branch of the maxillary artery, and the sphenopalatine artery anastomoses with the septal branch of the superior labial branch of the facial artery in the region of vestibule. In the mucosa of nose, submucous venous plexus is present, which is drained by the veins that accompany the arteries. So, this is the maxillary artery, and it is giving the sphenopalatine artery, which is the major branch of the maxillary artery. And this is the greater and the lesser palatine arteries. This is the greater palatine artery, which is also a branch of the maxillary artery. Sphenopalatine artery, this is the largest branch of the maxillary artery, which gives the blood supply to the nose. And this is a greater palatine artery, which is also a branch of the maxillary artery. And the superior labial branch of the facial artery also contributes in the blood supply of the nose. It supplies the septum and columella of the nose, and the superior anterior ethmoidal artery and the posterior ethmoidal artery, they also contribute in the blood supply of the nose. So the nose has a very rich blood supply. uh, the the major blood supply is given by the sphenopalatine artery, which is the branch of the maxillary artery, and the greater palatine artery, which is also a branch of the maxillary artery, and superior labial branch of the facial artery, and the anterior and the posterior ethmoidal arteries, which are the branches of the ophthalmic artery. So the nose has a very rich rich blood supply, and these all arteries anastomose with each other, and they form the little's area. So that due to the rich blood supply to the nose, any trauma to the nose leads to the bleeding of the nose. Nerve supply of the nasal cavity. The nasal cavity, actually the olfactory nerves, the in the upper area of the superior concha, the mucosa is olfactory mucosa. And olfactory nerves forms the olfactory mucous membrane, ascends through the cribriform plate of the ethmoid bone to the olfactory bulbs. So the area in the lateral wall, the area above the superior concha is covered by the olfactory mucosa. From there, the olfactory nerves will go up from the nasal cavity and through the cribriform plate into the anterior cranial fossa, where the olfactory bulb is present. This I will show you in a while. The nerves of the ordinary sensation given by the ophthalmic division and the maxillary division of the trigeminal nerve. So in this is the superior concha. The area above the superior concha, we have an olfactory mucous membrane. So this olfactory mucous membrane actually receives the olfactory sensation or the sensation of smell. This is for the reception of the smell. So this olfactory mucous membrane is actually formed for the reception of smell, and this is the cribriform plate. This cribriform plate having holes in it. So these olfactory nerves through the cribriform plate enters into the anterior cranial fossa, and this is the olfactory bulb which is present over the cribriform plate in the anterior cranial fossa. This receives the sensation of smell. Acha, the other area of the nose has a respiratory mucous membrane, pseudo-stratified ciliated columnar, or the olfactory mucous membrane only present above the superior concave in the roof of the nose, and in the other area of the nose, the respiratory mucous membrane, that is pseudo-stratified ciliated columnar epithelium, is present, and this area is supplied by the anterior ethmoidal branch of the ophthalmic and the nasopalatine branches of the maxillary and the posterior nasal branches of the maxillary nerve. So the maxillary and the ophthalmic area gives gives the sensation to other parts of the nose, and the olfactory area supplied by the olfactory nerve or olfactory mucous membrane. And this area is only for the reception of the smell. Lymphatic drainage of the nasal cavity. The lymph vessels drain the vestibule and in the submandibular nodes. The area of the vestibule is inside the nasal cavity. The cavities inside the nose, these are called the vestibule, and the vestibule has a modified epithelium, and it is covered by a skin. This vestibular area is covered by skin, and the coarse hairs are also present over the that modified skin, and these coarse hairs actually traps the जो है particles of the mud and dust particles and the other organisms, and then they remove it. So this vestibule is the area that is inside the nasal cavity, and it is covered by a modified skin and the hairs. And this vestibular area actually drained into the submandibular nodes, and the other parts of the nose drain into the deep cervical node. So upper deep cervical are called jugular-digastric. I already taught you. Okay, the nodes which are along with the upper part of the internal jugular vein, and they are covered by the posterior belly of digastric. So that's why they are called jugular-digastric, because they are in between the jugular vein and the posterior belly of digastric. So they are that's why they are called the jugular-digastric nodes. And so the upper deep cervical nodes actually receive the remainder areas of the nasal cavity. The vestibular area enters the lymph of the vestibular area drains into the submandibular nodes. So which is the vestibular area? The cavities inside the nose, which is covered by a modified skin and hairs. So that are the vestibular areas. So how we examine the nasal cavity? We have a specialized speculum by which we examine the nasal cavity, and this is the vestibular area and cavity inside the nose. It is covered by a modified skin and the nasal hairs. Any trauma, the nose has a very rich blood supply, so any trauma to the nose leads to the bleeding of the nose. So five arteries like anterior ethmoidal artery, the posterior ethmoidal artery, like a bigger branch of the maxillary artery, that is the stenopalatine artery, and the other branch of the maxillary artery, that is the greater or lesser palatine arteries, and the septal branch of the facial artery, which supplies the septum, and the columella also supplies the nasal cavity. So it has a rich blood supply. So any trauma to the nose leads to the epistaxis or bleeding of the nose. Any infection in the nasal cavity uh, through the auditory tube, because posterior to the nasal cavity, here is the nasopharynx, and the auditory tube opens into the lateral wall of the nasopharynx. So any infection in the nasal cavity transmit through the opening of the auditory tube into the middle ear cavity and causes the infections of the middle ear cavity. Uh, that is otitis media. And the infection of the nose through these cribriform plate uh, or through the olfactory nerves. In the sheath of the olfactory nerves, the organisms get attached and they pass through the cribriform plate into the anterior cranial fossa, and it causes the infection of the meninges and the brain of the anterior cranial fossa. So it causes the meningitis and encephalitis of the brain. So any infection of the nose can be transmitted through the anterior to the anterior cranial fossa through the nose, or it can transmit through the opening of the auditory tube into the ears of the middle ear cavity. So the infection of the nose is quite dangerous, and sometimes the kids put the foreign bodies inside the nose, and which is actually stuck between the septum and the lateral wall of the nose. uh, Nasal bleeding I have already discussed. So these are the paranasal sinuses. We have the sinuses like the frontal sinus in the frontal bone. These are the maxillary sinuses which are present in the maxillary in the body of the maxilla. The roof of the जो है maxillary sinus is with the orbital cavity, and the floor जो आपका apex of the maxillary sinus है, it is over the premolars and molars of the tooth. And these are the ethmoidal air sinuses, and these are in between the it is a hair in the ethmoid bone between the orbital cavity and the nasal cavity. So these are the ethmoidal air sinuses in the ethmoidal bone, which is between the orbital cavity and the nasal cavity. The frontal sinuses, ethmoidal air sinuses, and the maxillary sinuses. So these maxillary sinus I will discuss in part 2 of this video.